Hi, it's Mike with AskTractorMike.com. Well, final tractor and combine sales numbers for the U.S. for 2024 are just out from the Association of Equipment Manufacturers. And today I'm going to give you 5 takeaways about the report, what the numbers say, what they mean, and why they're like they are. And if you're a tractor nerd or a farmer or somebody that's shopping for a tractor, stay tuned. Let's go in and see what the numbers say. Well, here's the report, and the first thing you notice about it is there's a lot of minuses on it. All classes of tractors and combines were down in sales from 2024 versus 2023. Now let's dive in a little deeper. Here's a graph that shows total tractor and combine sales combined. That bottom black line is 2024, and you'll notice if you add together all classes of tractors and combines together versus previous years, we had the lowest level of sales in 5 years in 2024. That's takeaway number 1. Well, takeaway number 2 relates to small compact tractor sales. And the reason somebody buys a tractor under 40 horsepower is generally that they move to the country and they need a small tractor to keep their place up. And if you'll notice in this graph, sales are down. Now, I go back 6 years on this. 2019 was the last year before COVID. And before that, we'd been on a mostly upward trend for several years as more people moved out of the city to the country and bought these small tractors. And COVID hit. There were limited supplies. There was panic buying. The market in 2020 and 2021 was sharply higher. You couldn't get tractors for a while. And then in 2022, the market started coming back down. In 2023, the market was actually slightly below 2019, and then last year in 2024, the market took another hit, down 14% from 2023 and down almost 18% from 2019. So that market is sharply down. Now, the reasons for that, obviously, if people buy when they move to the country, if they're not moving to the country as much, the market is down, and I think that's happened. The interest rates have really locked a lot of people into the property they own now. They're not wanting to trade a loan that they were paying a low interest rate on for one that's much higher now. And of course, interest rates have softened a little bit, so that trend could change too. But the other thing is just kind of sticker shock. Some of these small tractors probably up $8,000-$10,000 from where they were back in 2019. So that's all factored into the compact tractor market in takeaway number 2 being sharply lower from where it was. Well, takeaway number 3 revolves around the mid-range tractor market. And I wish they'd break this market down into 2 segments, because there's a big difference between say a 45 horsepower tractor and a 95 horsepower tractor. Most of the time, your 40 to 60 horsepower tractors are not tractors that people buy to make a living with. They're more of a recreational tractor and a grooming tractor. A lot of times a person that's owned a 40 horse tractor or a 35 horse tractor will trade it for a little bit bigger one so he can get his jobs done quicker. So the 40 to 60 horsepower market, in my mind, is also, like the compact tractor market, pretty much determined by people moving to the country. But you get over 60 horsepower and up to 100, and you're talking about people that are at least making part of their living from the land. And a lot of times that's with livestock. And cattle prices are good. So I would still suspect the 60 to 100 horsepower tractor market is down, but I don't think it's down as much as the 40 to 60, but we really have no way of knowing. And again, we're looking at 2019. We saw a bump in this market in COVID, and I think that was mostly in the 40 to 60 horsepower range. And then it's kind of leveled back off and was down from last year's sales about 10%. And of course, also down from 2019. So takeaway number 3 is the mid-range tractor market is also soft. Well, takeaway number 4 revolves around the farm economy, the folks that raise row crops. And that market is not doing too well. The prices of corn and soybeans have dropped, and the folks that raise them are not making as much money as they were, and their tractor markets sure show that. Sales of tractors over 100 horsepower, which aren't all used in row crop operations. Some of the smaller end are used in big cattle feeding operations, for loading commodities or pulling big square balers. But that market was down more than any other market class in 2024. It was down 17.5% from 2023. And a lot of folks are probably getting away from these size tractors, moving to maybe articulated tractors on their real big farming operations, because as the size of farms grow and the number of acres being covered expands, the power plant to pull those big planters and other attachments and implements behind them, they need more horsepower. So that's part of the thing that's working on this market. But the other thing is, with corn and soybean prices down and input costs, including the cost of tractors, up, a lot of folks are stuck in the middle, and they're going to cut back anywhere they can. And if they can cut back on their machinery investment, they definitely will. The articulated four-wheel drive tractor market was kind of a surprise at the end of the year, because it had been running above 2023 through 3 quarters in 2024. Normally, a lot of those are sold at the end of the year for tax purposes, and this year that did not happen. And because we didn't see that big blip at the end of the year, we actually saw a pretty significant drop in articulated tractor sales, and they dropped 4.5% from 2023, and that all happened in the fourth quarter. Well, you want to see a market that really got hit in 2024 is the combine market. Pretty good year in 2023, sales of 7,300 units, and that dropped 24.3% last year to down around 5,500, the number on the top there. Still ahead of 2020 and 2019, which were pretty rough years for farmers, but there were 3 really good sales of combines, 2021, 2022, and 2023, and last year that all came back to earth and dropped significantly. Well, point number 5 today revolves around inventory, and if there's too much inventory, manufacturers and dealers are going to be very aggressive at moving units, and they'll cut their margin to get them out in the field and get rid of them so they can build another one. Are we at the giveaway levels? You remember these days when you could get a $5 foot long at Subway? I don't think the $5 foot long is coming back, but we're sure in a lot better place if you're a buyer than you would have been a few years ago. Here's the market under 40 horsepower, and the orange bar is the inventory levels, and the blue bar is sales. And so the closer the end of that orange bar gets to the end of the blue bar, the better your bargaining position is, the more leverage you've got if you're trying to negotiate a deal. Now, on these small tractors, you notice 2020 and 2021, you had no leverage. There was a lot more demand than there was supply. And that came back into balance a little bit more in 2022. In 2023, levels were a little excessive and prices dropped a little bit. Low rate programs got better, and manufacturers took note of that. They don't like to cut their margins or invest in high cost interest rate programs. So 2024, they've kind of trimmed the inventory back enough that it's kind of back into balance. Here's the 40 to 100 horsepower class, and kind of the same deal. There's been a little bit of trimming of inventory, and they've done a pretty good job of bringing it into balance late in the year, because it was quite a bit out of kilter in the second and third quarters, and now it's kind of balanced itself out a little bit more. And then I'm going to show these others over 100. There's not much inventory in them. The manufacturers and the dealers can't afford to keep a lot of inventory because of the high price of these units. Here's articulated tractors, and there's not very many of them around. And here's combines, and you'll see that the inventory levels on all of these is pretty low. So bottom line to all this, it's a kind of a buyer's market. It's better than it was during COVID if you're a small tractor buyer, but there's no giveaway deals right now. Wish I had better news if you're a buyer. I appreciate you watching my videos. I would be honored if you would subscribe to my YouTube channel. That really helps me out. And you can do that by clicking the mic face icon and check the bell so you get notified when I post future videos. Here's a link to my website and the Tractor Fund Store with cool things for sale for the tractor owner. It helps support my YouTube channel. And here's another couple of videos you might want to watch. Thanks for watching.